Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
Early returns have not been as profitable as anticipated for the 2012 Phillies. The return of a Philly favorite was hampered by injury. The return home has been soured thus far by the visiting divisional foes. Cliff Lee's return to the Phillies last season was a major boost to the rotation. His return to the mound tonight couldn't come at a better time. The thought back in 2007 for the Phillies when they won their first of 5 straight divisional crowns is 1 inning, 1 game. That's all they want to take care of, and that's what the Phillies will try to do tonight when they wrap up this 3-game series tonight against the New York Mets. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. The Phillies are looking for a boost in any way possible. And I guess you could say they're going to get it from the left arm of Cliff Lee.
Nice to have Cliff Lee back tonight, Tom. He'll be limited to a certain number of pitches, somewhere around 75 to 80. But just to have that guy back on the mound has to give you a little bolt of energy. Who can forget his last start? It's been a while, 3 weeks, and he pitched so great that night on April the 18th at San Francisco. Went 10 scoreless innings. Nobody could get a run in that one until the Giants finally won, and Cliff wound up with a no decision. Unfortunately, did a little oblique problem that night, had a problem with a side muscle, and he had to be shut down for a while. But he was just brilliant that night. His defense played well behind him, threw strikes. Look at this play Freddie Galvis makes. Heads up play right there. And he did not run 1 3-ball count the whole night, pitching 10 innings. Want to know one of the things that's wrong this year? Right there. He's only pitched 3 times so far. And what he has done, he's really been good. Cliff Lee is a winner. He's a guy that goes out and gives teams energy. He can run the bases. He can hit. He's just fun to watch. And you would think there'd be a little more zip tonight just by having him back in the lineup. Now, you just don't know how long he's going to be able to stay out there. You hope he gets a lot of outs quick.
You hope he gets a lot of outs quick, and you hope the bullpen can turn things around, because right now the Phillies bullpen, the worst earned run average in the National League. So it is the final game of this 3-game series between the Phils and the New York Mets. It'll be Cliff Lee on the mound against Dylan G. Last time these two teams faced each other, Lee won the game 10-0. That was in 2011. Well, Hunter Pence got the Phillies off on a good note last night with a 2-run home run out towards center field. Phils are hoping for the same kind of returns early and then maybe later as well when we get back to lineups and first pitch. Lee back on the mound since the 18th of April. And Cliff will take the baseball for the Phils to try to salvage this 3-game series against the New York Mets. As he said yesterday, he just wants to be able to contribute once again to his teammates. Let's take a look at the Mets lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Andres Torres leads it off in center, followed by Daniel Murphy and David Wright. Scott Hairston is the cleanup hitter tonight. Vinny Rotino is in left field. He'll bat fifth. Justin Turner sixth. And the bottom third of Ike Davis, Rob Johnson, and Dylan G. And they'll face Cliff Lee, who is making his 4th start of the year. Earned run average, and he still doesn't have a victory.
Yeah, only his 4th start of the year. And great numbers, obviously coming off an unbelievable game when he wound up with that little rib cage oblique problem. They had to shut him down for a while. On a pitch count here tonight, hopefully he'll retire a lot of guys quick and pitch, 5-6 innings for the club. Here's a scouting report on Cliff Lee, and his numbers against the New York Mets, not too bad. 1.61 earned run average.
He's allowed 1 earned run in his last 14 innings against the Mets, and we're underway as Ron Culpa calls a strike to Andres Torres. Torres is 2 for 8 in the series so far. A couple of his big at-bats have not involved a base hit. They've involved walks. First night, Phillies up 2-0. He was down in the count to Roy Halladay, worked out a walk, and then eventually the Mets tied it with a 2-run double by David Wright. 2-1 the count to Torres. How about the numbers for the first 4 hitters for the Mets last night? 8 for 17. They scored 5 runs. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Lee. Little looper to right field. Here comes Pence. He dives and he makes the catch. That ball hung up there just enough for Hunter Pence to come diving in to make the grab before it even came close to the grass. So 1 away.
Yeah, heck of a play by Hunter Pence. He's had some problems with some of these balls lately, judging them just right. And in that case, he got after it and made the play. If you're going to dive, you got to make sure you either catch it or block it. In that case, he felt he had it all the way, it looked like.
So 1 out. Daniel Murphy's the hitter. Murphy 341 for the Mets over the last 10 ball games. His average overall at 308, no home runs and 10 runs batted in. He's hit in 5 consecutive games. Little tapper up the first baseline. John Mayberry is there. Couple of quick outs for Lee here at the top of the first.
Time now for our Nissan Keys to tonight's game. Another overcast night here. And not too bad. Phillies and the Mets playing in pretty decent weather tonight. Welcome back, Cliff Lee. Everybody just glad to see that guy out on the mound. That sounds like a silly key to a game to play better. In this case, this team just hasn't played very good baseball, and they just need to play better, and they'll start winning games.
Well, that's been the word all day long around the ballpark. First from Charlie Manuel. Ruben Amaro said the same thing. Here's David Wright, who takes inside. It's 1-0. Wright hitting .375. 3 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Hits that one to third. And Polanco a step to his right. This is an easy inning for Cliff Lee. Just 8 pitches. And Lee retires the Mets in order. Nothing across. We go to the bottom of the first. Hunter Pence got it started in a nice way with a diving grab. And now we'll see if he gets a chance to hit when we return. Phillies are going to get out there tonight against the New York Mets. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Jimmy Rollins leads off once again, followed by Pierre and Victorino. Hunter Pence is the cleanup hitter. Polanco hits fifth. John Mayberry makes the start at first base. Tonight it's Brian Schneider behind the plate. He'll hit seventh. Freddie Galveston at second base bats eighth. Batting ninth is Cliff Lee. And they'll face 26-year-old right-hander Dylan G. 2-2 this year with an earned run average of 4.5.
This guy can be pretty good, too. He has a lot of really good off-speed stuff. Likes to pitch backwards, and he can strike out hitters.
Well, he starts Rollins off with a fastball, and it's no balls and one strike.
Won't overpower hitters, but as I mentioned, he pitches backwards with a lot of off-speed stuff. Really good changeup.
Rollins is 2 for 9 in the series. He pulls that one to the right side, and Murphy was playing that way. It just seems to be what's happening for the Phils in this series. The Mets have aligned Murphy over toward that hole with just about every left-hander, and he's cut off a handful of balls that otherwise might be a little closer if they were playing straight away.
Well, a guy like Dylan G, you want to play guys that pull left-handed hitters, especially because all that off-speed stuff we just mentioned. In fact, he just threw him a changeup that he pulled.
Juan Pierre riding a 3-game hitting streak at 337 overall. He's had a pretty good month of May. You see that, over 400. He and Hunter Pence both have had very good months of May.
And he got everybody in the infield's attention there. They were all way up, and now with 2 strikes they back up.
On the hands, David Wright tries to cut it off, and it's going to be a base hit for Pierre. If David Wright had let that go, Justin Turner might have been able to make some kind of play. If he let it hit the ground, they wouldn't have gotten him. But
right.
Could he have made the catch out of the air? I don't know.
Never know. David Wright doing what third baseman's supposed to do, go get everything he can.
Yeah, Turner would not have caught that off in the air.
No, it would have landed and it would have had all that crazy spin on it. He'd have never been able to throw Pierre out.
So a base runner for the Phils. Here's Victorino, who's also had a good month of May. Overall, he's hit in 9 consecutive games. 256 on the year, or 254, excuse me, with 5 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Rollins and Victorino have combined for 20 stolen bases already this season. Pierre might be thinking about running here at some point. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is James Lovely of Pottstown. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, Charlie will be happy and James will win $100. Charlie's moved from one side of the stairs to the other for the start of this ball game. Last night when the Phillies scored the 4 runs in the first 2 innings, he was where Polanco is. But now he's decided to go to the other side.
Trying to find a spot to win a game. Dylan G, a really good guy to pull the ball on for a left-handed hitter.
See, the change of months for Victorino has been prosperous, hitting over 300 here in May. With a throw over it again, Pierre is back.
See the difference when they have a left-handed first baseman, how quick they can get a tag down. Right-handed first baseman have to reach out and then reach down and across. Left-handers, they catch it and go right with it. They can put it right down on a base runner coming back in. And no, that's why they like to have a left-handed first baseman, plus the gloves on the hand to take the hole away.
Not too many other places for the left-hander to be.
Right, and they're perfect for over there.
Down and away, 2 balls and 1 strike.
You're gonna be left-handed. You're either gonna pitch, play first, or the outfield.
Or if you're Mike Squires, maybe you can catch.
Yeah, every once in a while, yeah.
Liner to center field. Torres going back, and he's there to make the catch. Pierre stopped at second, now returns. So 2 outs. During the 2012 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory. and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. With 2 outs and a runner at first, Hunter Pence is the hitter. Pence is 1 for 8 in the series, but his one is the home run last night that gave the Phils a 2-0 lead. He's second in the National League in homers in May, third in RBIs.
It's a time to run if you want to try and steal a bag, and then again, Pence is one of the guys who can hit the ball of the ballpark, and you may not want him to run here.
Carlos Beltran leads the league in homers in May with 5. Pence has 4.
Josh Hamilton had 4 last night.
How about he said it was like a Little League game, and I think I looked at Murph and said, whose Little League game?
Yeah, whose Little League? 3 homers, a dead center.
Pierre is back again.
It's another thing with base stealers, the way they get punished. Little things like that. Think how many times he's gotten slapped upside the head or on his body on those hard tags that Davis is making on him. He's pretty quick to the plate.
Time now for a Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. This is the 1 hit for Hunter Pence in this series so far. He got out of here fast.
Got a slider or cutter from Batista last night, and that did get out in a hurry and went a long way.
Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Pierre doesn't go. Pitch is hit in the air to left field. Rutino over toward the line. He's under it. And the Phillies leave one here in the first. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. On to the second inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Cliff Lee heading back to work. Harrison will lead it off. You know, the other night, Jordani Valdespin hit his first major league home run. It was his first major league hit. That was a big one in this series, a 3-run shot against Jonathan Papelbon that eventually gave the Mets the win. That little guy picked the baseball up from the ball girl, the Phillies ball girl, down the right field line, and he was all smiles. We saw him leave the yard, and we wondered, what the heck happened to that ball? Well, Murph, you have any idea?
You know, Tom, indeed I do. That was 8-year-old Andrew Wickstead, who was here with his Uncle Greg and his cousin Joe at the game. And when you saw him walk away, Tom, you commented that that was Valdespin's first hit. And his father was actually watching the game at home and realized what a momentous baseball that must be. So he called the New York Mets the next day and set up a reunion of sorts with Valdespin today. And there you see it, handing back the baseball to Valdespin. So he gets the baseball back. They give him an autographed bat, and the Phillies also gave him an autographed Hunter Pence baseball because that's young Andrew's favorite player. So it all works out as Jordani Valdespin gets that baseball back.
That's pretty cool. You know, that first hit is always important, but when it's a home run, you know, that's something that Valdespin will always remember, and it's also something that that young guy's going to remember too.
Yeah, the most important thing is that everybody leaves happy in the situation. And, you know, I got a chance real quickly to talk to Valdespin, and he really wanted that baseball back, so it was nice that they were able to work it out.
Yeah, I guess he wants to give it to his mom as a Mother's Day gift. Mother's Day, of course, coming up this weekend. Murph, thanks, man. We appreciate it. We saw that little guy all smiles going up the stairs toward the concourse area, and you know, we wondered if anybody had tracked him down. Well, there's your answer.
And you know that family's going to follow the career of Valdespin.
Yeah. 0-2 the count to Scott Harrison. He takes outside. It's 1-2. Hairston is 0 for 2 in the series. He's been a pinch hitter in the first 2 games. Fouls it back. It remains 1-2.
Yeah, he is a free swinger, very strong, can hit home runs a long way, but has holes, and you can get him out because he swings so hard at everything. He likes the ball up too, it looks like.
Ground ball softly hit. Rollins is there. Cliff Lee has the first out here in the second. So 4 up, 4 down for Lee. On a warmer night tonight here at Citizens Bank Park, temperatures game time have risen to 72 degrees. Still cloudy. Seems like it's been cloudy here in Philadelphia for like 5 days.
Yeah, it's finally going to get better tomorrow and real nice by Friday, they say.
Phillies will welcome in the San Diego Padres for a 3-game series on Friday night. Check out Phillies.com. There are still some seats available for that ball game. Scattered seats. Vinny Rotino is the batter. He's playing left field tonight. Has not played in this series so far. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Chicago hung on. How about that? 1-0 over the Braves. LaHare, another RBI. That was Tim Hudson that was pitching for Atlanta. We watched a lot of that ball game today. It looked like it was kind of cool in Chicago, but it was a really good game.
Yeah, wind was blowing in, and when the wind blows in Chicago, that place can play very, very big.
The other game that was a good one to watch today was Cincinnati and Milwaukee. They went to the 9th with no runs, and then Cincinnati scored 2. They won it 2-1. Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Lee.
Dusty Baker hung on as a manager and picked up number 1,500. Nice milestone for Dusty. He's a good guy. Good baseball player. A good player when he played, and a good manager and a good man. Good breaking ball there from Cliff Lee. That's that curveball every once in a while. He'll start to roll out usually later in games for strikeouts. Well, he figures, well, I'm going to be around today, and I may as well roll it out early.
Well, we usually throw out the pitch count as the game goes on, just for perspective on how long a guy can be out there. Tonight we'll follow it pretty keenly.
Yeah, so far so good because he's getting them out fast. That's what you hope would happen.
Justin Turner is 0 for 4 in the series for the Mets, playing shortstop again for the second time. In the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. You know, it's been a while since Cliff Lee was on the mound, the 18th of April. That 10-inning appearance, the 10-inning scoreless appearance that he had against the Giants. He was the first Phillies pitcher to throw 10 shutout innings since Lefty back in 1981. Phillies also lost that game 1-0. 2-2 the count to Turner. The last major league pitcher prior to Lee to throw 10 scoreless innings in a game was Mark Mulder, April of 2005. That'll slice foul, and it remains 2-2. Well, there's some of the particulars. 102 pitches, 81 strikes. The splits were, well, splits that you won't normally see for a pitcher that's over 100 pitches.
No 3 ball counts. Whole time he was out there. What you don't want is some guy to get up there and start fouling a bunch of pitches off. Normally, it's not that big a deal. Tonight it is. It's not like the bullpen's been real steady lately, so that's why they don't want to have to leave a whole lot of innings to them until they get that straightened out.
Fly ball to right field. Here comes Pence. This is a much easier play than the first inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets here in the second. 6 up, 6 down for Cliff Lee. We go to the bottom of the second for Polanco. Guide for a chance to win VIP experience for 2 this year at the MLB World Series. Presented by Scott's, the official lawn care of MLB. A whole lot of letters in there, Wheels.
A lot of letters.
Placido Polanco takes a strike to begin the second.
Speaking of a guy with a lot of vowels, here's one.
Just 6 hits away from 2,000.
Bunch of guys banged up tonight. Wigginton hurt a little bit. Nix, Ruiz. So Polanco's moved up to 5 in the order.
We talked about Nix's calf injury, which kept him out as a starter last night, but he was available to pinch hit. Available again tonight to pinch hit. Wigginton has a sore side, which I think he did that on the road trip at some point. Ruiz has been banged up with that wrist for the last several weeks. Swing and a miss, 1 away. There's Carlos.
And that gives us a chance. The great guy at the vet at Connie Mack Stadium would like to send our condolences along to the family of Joe Meccarella. We all called him Joe Meck. Usher, head groundkeeper, maintenance man, 40+ years with the Phillies. Passed away today at age 97.
Wow. How about all the jobs he had?
He was a good guy too. Joe
Head
Meck,
groundskeeper, usher, and maintenance man.
Yep. Everybody knew him, Tom, and just one of the really good guys. 97 too. How about that?
John Mayberry takes a strike. It's 0-1. Mayberry takes a breaking ball. It's 1-1. Talked to John a little bit today about his swing. Talked last night too about that ball he hit right on the nose where Daniel Murphy is playing right now, and Murphy caught it out of the air at second base. He said he shouldn't have been playing there.
Yeah, what's he playing me up the middle for?
Over to the left side. Big hop for Justin Turner. There are 2 outs now in the second. Follow the Phillies with the MLB.com @BAT12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for more details. Brian Schneider takes outside. It's 1-0. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
See, Jeff Suppan is going to pitch now against the Phillies this weekend. Talk about a reclamation project.
It's a perfect ballpark, Petco, for him to pitch.
Yep, he's a fly ball guy. Been doing a little overshift here on Brian Schneider. 3 on the right side. There you go.
Change up, and Schneider out front, 2-2.
That's what we talked about, Dylan G pitching backwards. He's really good at that. You get in the fastball count, he'll throw something off speed. A lot of times a changeup, the way he did there. He's got enough fastball too to really use his off speed stuff. In fact, his fastball is usually going to top out around 92.
He was a 21st round selection in 2007 by the Mets. He's out of the University of Texas Arlington. It's the same college that produced Hunter Pence. In fact, it's produced John Lackey, Hunter Pence, and Ryan Roberts. So 4 guys in the majors right now. Schneider smokes it right through the shift.
That's tough to beat that shift, and he did.
So 2 outs. Well, we mentioned the Padres are coming in. Clayton Richard will start on Friday night against Vance Worley. Then Volquez and Halladay. Volquez has done pretty well, but a lot of his games have been at Petco. Suppan against Cole Hamels on Sunday. There are seats still available for Friday night's game, so come on out and see the Vanimal pitch Friday against Clayton Richard. That's a pretty good pitching matchup. Those 2 guys, well, they've had good starts to their major league careers. Freddie Galvis, the hitter. Galvis takes outside. David Wright's in on the grass at third because Freddie still even with 2 outs and the pitcher up next, is a threat to bunt to try to get a base hit.
Yeah, and to turn the lineup over.
He'll turn it over all right. He hits it to right field. It's a base hit. Schneider's around second. He's going to chug on over to third. So the Phillies have first and third with 2 outs. No slouch at all coming up in Cliff Lee.
No, this is not an out in the 9-hole. Freddie hits this ball hard. Ike Davis just not quite able to get to it. Brian Schneider takes a quick look out there. He knows, well, 2 outs. You're not going to throw it over to third right now. Let another guy move into scoring position. So he was able to easily get to third.
Well, Cliff's numbers this year, 2 for 6. Both of his hits came against the Mets. Takes outside. It's 1-0.
It's a good job by Brian, too, to get to third base. Let's face it, it's tougher to score him from second on a base hit. So now he's at third, a base hit, no problem.
Over toward the hole at shortstop. Turner backhands. This will be a tough play, and he's safe at first, and the Phils take the lead. RBI infield single for Cliff Lee. Oh, they missed him on the mound. They missed him at the plate. 1-0 Phillies.
Yeah, he really busted. That's the point we're making about Schneider getting to third, too. Brian Schneider gets to third base on that play, reads it off the bat, and he's able to walk in when Lee beats the play. That's a heck of a play, too, by Schneider. I mean, he got a lot on that thing, just flipped it. Ike Davis, a tremendous stretch, but Cliff Lee, he can run down that line, and he ran hard.
Now the runners not being held on with 2 outs. Runners on first and second for Rollins. Rollins fouls it away. He got a pretty good pitch to hit there.
Well, you run the bases properly, and it can really influence a game. He really has to be upset with himself for getting beat here by the bottom of the order with 2 outs.
Change up, 1-1 the count.
He's playing Jimmy Rollins basically straight away in the outfield, taking the alleys away, giving him the lines on both sides. See it there. See where the center fielder Torres is, right behind second base.
Phillies jumped out to a 4-0 lead early yesterday. They're trying to add to their 1-0 lead here in the second. Sounds strange, but scoring early in a game has not been an issue for the Phils.
No, they've been scoring in games, and then they've been giving up leads, which is, you know, when they've had their real good years, they didn't do that. Which good teams don't do. You know, you get a lead, you front run, you win the game. You don't expect you're going to necessarily get a fastball right now.
Outside, 3-1.
He did go fastball.
Well, there you go, Wheels.
Yep.
Blown leads this season for the Phils. They've blown a 1-run lead twice, 2-run lead twice, a 6-run lead once, a 4-run lead once. That was last night.
How did they blow a 6-run lead? When did that happen?
I want to forget about that one.
I don't remember that.
We'll push that one aside.
Yeah. I don't think that graphic's right.
3-1 to Rollins. Toward right center field. Torres on the run. Is he going to get there? He is. Boy, did that hang up, and it sliced back a little bit toward him.
That's what we're talking about. They were taking the alleys away in that defense.
Phillies settle for 1 on the RBI by Cliff Lee. They leave a couple. We go to the third. 1-0 Phils. NYNATPHI.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Here you go, Wheels. Name the 3 Mets that have led the National League in home runs. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Phillies up 1-0. Bottom 3rd due up for the Mets here at the top of the 3rd. Wheels is chewing on the question right now. I think he has 1, and he has 2 others that he needs to get.
One of them just leaps out at you. So good. Probably wrong, but.
Wheels, during your day off, you could watch as Hunter Pence talks about the Phils offense, and Dominic Brown talks about his move to left field and his goal to be an everyday starter. That's on Phillies Clubhouse. It's tomorrow night at 11:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. It's presented by Mercedes.
We are off tomorrow, right?
We are, yeah.
That's nice.
Off day tomorrow. Start of a 3-game series on Friday.
Good day for a tee in the ground tomorrow.
Tee in the ground. Get a chance to watch the Sixers tomorrow. Then Phillies Clubhouse later on.
There you go.
I got it all mapped out.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Thanks.
Maybe throw in the Big Bang Theory in there.
Got a lot of stuff recorded at home to watch, you know. NCIS Los Angeles.
You're going to watch the whole franchise, huh?
I love those shows. They're good.
Brian Schneider went out to the mound to have a conversation with Lee, and here comes the first pitch after that conversation. It's low, 1-0. Davis is 1 for 7 in the series. He has struck out 3 times. Well, the Fanatic is visiting the SNY booth. Looks like he's having a conversation with Keith Hernandez. That's probably going well.
That would be quite a conversation.
Curveball in there for a strike. I wonder who's doing most of the talking.
Well, Mex will have an opinion. Gary Cohen.
Yeah, Sean and Gary Cohen said, I wonder if he's talking about the whole mascot thing where the Mr. Met was voted the most recognizable mascot. Somehow, I don't know how, over the Fanatic.
Who did that vote?
I don't remember, but they must not have researched properly.
Yeah, that should get a buzzer. Absolutely get the buzzer. There they are. They're 2 good guys. Ron Darling, of course, works with them also, and he's not on this trip.
And a called strike 3. A fastball right down the chute by Lee. 2nd strikeout. Like he had Ike Davis guessing a little bit, and he certainly wasn't guessing fastball.
Yeah, and he painted with it too. Looks like the layoff has really bothered his command. Talk about falling right back into it.
Rob Johnson was added to the roster yesterday by the Mets because Josh Tolley's concussion. His numbers in AAA. Johnson last year played for the Padres, where he hit 190 for San Diego as their backup catcher.
We saw him a number of games last year.
Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count to him.
A little late on that. Cliff Lee's fastball's been up 92. That one was 93. That's just about where he should be. Well, he's working fast. Typical Cliff Lee, using all his pitches, moves the ball in and out. And he got a hit knocked in a row. Other than that, I haven't even noticed him tonight.
Ground ball toward the middle. Galvis makes a diving play. Does he have time? Nope. It'll be the first hit of the night. It was a heck of a play to get to that ball.
Couldn't get up right away. For a split second, I don't know. He didn't hurt himself, did he? As Chase Utley looks on. But he's okay. I expected him when he catches this right in this area to pop right back up again. See, here he goes. And he goes a long way forward, and right there is when you expect Freddie Galvis to pop right up. Oh, he didn't have the ball.
Yeah, the ball dropped out of his glove.
The ball dropped out of his glove. That's why, or he would have popped right up and tried to transfer and flip that thing to first. Well, that's why you have replays to find out. Why did that happen?
I have to give credit to Johnson, too. Catchers around the world are going to cringe, but for a catcher, he got up the line pretty good.
A certain catcher who's a great broadcaster hates that. Runs well for a catcher.
Bob Brenly?
Bob Brenly, yeah. Now this guy's going to the Hall of Fame this year.
There's a bunt toward the right of the mound. Nice play by Lee. Fires. Did he get him? He did! Jimmy Rollins going to have to shake out his hand. That was as quick a ball as you'll see any pitcher throw. He gets the lead runner, 2 outs.
And if anybody was yelling, Lee go to second, or either he just with his instincts did it himself, knowing that a catcher's running. Here we go again. A catcher running. The ball's bunted really hard by G. You know, he takes a peek over first, but now he fires that baby to second. Jimmy Rollins has to play first base here. Now, what happens there is Rollins is thinking about the throw on the other side of the bag. So you saw how he had to totally shift his weight and then catch it that way and then just fall off.
That was a good play all the way around.
Yeah, he didn't. As a shortstop, you don't expect that ball to be down and to your right.
Andres Torres is in the hole, 0-1. Torres lined to right his first time up. On a nice play by Hunter Pence.
Well, let's see what else Lee's done. He's pitched well, field his position, get a hit. And run. It's like a 5-tool guy.
And so far healthy, too.
Yeah.
You know, the oblique strain that he sustained in the 10th inning, or felt in the 10th inning out in San Francisco, you know, they even said the next couple of days that it wasn't like the strains he had previously in his career. But I think that Scott Sheridan and the Phillies athletic training staff and even Lee just wanted to be cautious because it's so early in the year.
Right. And if you blow that thing out, then it's really a long-term injury evidently. So yeah, they wanted to be careful. He felt, you know, I think he probably could have just missed a turn, but as you said, they wanted to be careful.
It's 2 balls and 1 strike to Torres. A little high, 3-1. Ball 4. So first walk of the night for Lee, and now first and second for New York.
You never know. You got to be careful when you say things. You never know the way games get out all over the country. Who could be listening, right? Or watching?
Did you get a phone call?
Well, it looks like it. Kind of message on there.
Was it for Bob Brenly?
No, it might have been from the catcher that's going to the Hall of Fame this year, Tim McCarver. Hates it when you talk about runs well for a catcher.
Well, Jason Kendall and Tim McCarver aside.
John Stearns.
Right.
A few of them.
Daniel Murphy grounded out softly to first his first time up. So fills up 1-0. Mets have 2 on and 2 outs here in the top of the third. Mets have been one of the more productive teams this year with 2 outs. They've scored a majority of their runs with 2 outs this year.
Well, you made the point when Torres came up the first time up, how he's hurt the Phillies by walking in this series. Well, here he goes again with a 2-out walk, and these guys score a ton of 2-out runs. And they've just been nickel and diming the Phillies in this series and playing good baseball.
A liner to left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run's going to score. Pierre cuts it off. Torres on his way to third. They'll stop him there, and it's a 1-1 ball game.
There you go.
So,
again, a 2-out walk to Torres, and these guys score a run right after. It's amazing how many times they've done that in these 3 games.
The RBI for Murphy, his 11th. And G has tied the game up, and now David Wright will bat with runners on second and third.
That was a good play by Pierre. Cut that thing off in the alley like that. With Torres running, they were going to try and score him.
Ten of the runs the Mets have scored in this series have come with 2 outs.
Yeah. Well, they're right there leading the major leagues, or close to it in that category.
Wright takes a fastball for strike 1.
That's where he needs to stop the bleeding right here and not let Wright hurt him. Because the Phillies, you know, they've had things happen to them lately, and all of a sudden, you know, you can see it gets them down, and they don't react well to it.
the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And what this inning's doing, unfortunately, at the bottom of the order, and now they're in the meat of the order a little bit, is running his pitch count up a little quicker.
So he's at 44 pitches, which on a normal day would not be that big of a deal. 1-1 pitch. Over toward third. One hop play by Polanco. Ball was hit hard and he throws out right. So Lee allows the 1 run to tie it up, but then leaves a couple. We've played 2.5. We go to the bottom of the third. Juan Pierre will lead it off for the Phils. Are waiting. Grab some buds. Buy Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. And buy AT&T. Rethink possible. 1-1 game as we move to the bottom of the third. It'll be Pierre Victorino and Hunter Pence. 2, 3, and 4 for the Phillies against Dylan G.
Well, maybe something turned for the Phillies in that inning because David Wright can't hit it harder than that. Thank goodness he didn't get that ball in the air.
Fortunately, hit it toward the Gold Glover over third and Placido Polanco. So
and Placido Polanco could not have moved very far for that and handled it because it was hit on the nose.
Pierre reached on a single his first time up. It was an infield single off the glove of Wright. Now he's ahead 3-0.
They still have the shortstop, second baseman well up for middle infielders because of Pierre's threat to bunt.
Even with the count 3-0, he might think about it. He works on it more than I think anything else that he does.
Yeah, I mean, till it gets to 2 strikes, there you see how much they are up. Now backing up a little bit, 3-1. Now they'll go back.
It's not odd to see Pierre even take with the count 3-1. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung at a changeup, and he's the second strikeout victim for G.
Boy, he has a good changeup, and he'll throw it anytime. Great arm motion, great arm speed with it. Watch that. Watch it. Arm coming 100 miles an hour, just like a fastball, and then it kind of just squirts out of his hand. Really deceptive.
Victorino hit it sharply his first time up, but it was tracked down by Torres in center. Victorino's hit it 16 straight against the Mets. And he bunts toward third. G off the mound, slips a little bit, but still makes the throw. His back foot kind of slipped a couple inches, but was still able to get his bearings for the second out. Monday, May 21st, this series, because the Washington Nationals are in first place because of everything that happened this past weekend, At Nationals Park, it's even bigger, and there are seats still available. 7:05 is the first pitch. Go to Phillies.com to check out the ticket availability. Tuesday the 22nd is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. Those series should be very interesting between the Phillies and the Nationals as the season moves on, particularly once the Phillies get rolling.
Need more storylines now.
Hunter Pence the batter, and Pence takes a strike. Pence's 22 RBIs rank him 8th in the National League. He's average of 264 with 7 home runs. Oh boy. He's good with kids, Wheels. What can we tell you?
Nurturing effect.
Let's see him change that diaper. Murphy from his knee makes the catch, and the Phillies are retired in order. So 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. We move to the 4th inning. All evened up at 1. Boise fireworks paper in 29 vibrant colors. From who? But W.B. Mason. We're tied at 1. Top of the 4th inning. Scott Hairston, Vinny Rottino, and Justin Turner are due up for the Mets. That's 4, 5, and 6 for New York. Gary Matthews is settling in up here in the booth. And Cliff Lee so far has looked pretty darn good, considering he hasn't pitched since the 18th of April. His arm seems to be refreshed. His fastball is crisp.
Well, he's been tested on that oblique, throwing that ball to second base. That was a quick throw, having a turn. Both athletic plays.
Hairston grounded softly to short his first time up. He swings at the first pitch. Right back into the Hall of Fame club.
It's one of those players you don't want to throw a lot of strikes to, especially fastball strikes. If you do want him on the corner. He looks fastball most of the time.
It's that one back toward the middle. It'll trickle into center field. So a leadoff single. Vinny Rottino is now the hitter. Sarge, we've been talking a lot today. You know, Charlie Manuel has said this, Ruben Amaro has said this, that the Phillies just have to play better.
Yep.
I mean, it's simple, but in every facet of the game, they have to play better.
No doubt. And it starts with winning the series, and that's why I've always said the first game of the series, the most important. Why? Because it takes pressure off of your ball club. But then when you're not hitting, you got to play good defense, and that way when you do, you'll win some of those ball games.
Yeah, and the Phillies, I mean, talking about the defense, they're going into last night's game, they were the top defensive team statistically in the National League. But there have been games where they just have not done everything the right way. And last night's rundown was one of those things.
Stats tell the story a lot, but in a lot of cases it really doesn't. It can become misleading when you're number 1 or number 2 and the team's still not playing well. It's when you make those errors, and that was definitely untimely last night.
Yeah, it just wasn't crisp in any way. It's 0-2 now to Routino.
That's how you get yourself out of trouble a lot of times, and really playing good defense. And when you do that, well, you make the pitcher feel a lot better, takes pressure off of the whole team. And sometimes you overtry a little bit too hard. I tell you, in those rundowns, it can be pretty panicking if you panic.
Called strike 3. So third strikeout for Lee.
Well, it sounds easy and it looks easy when you're running runners, but a lot of pressure that goes with each and every throw. Got to have a lot of confidence when you're doing that.
Well, I was listening to Ruben Amaro do his pregame radio show tonight with Jim Jackson, where he took phone calls, and I thought it was great. I mean, some of his answers I thought were outstanding, and he said that the rundown last night, there were a lot of people that didn't do it right. Not just one guy. You know, point to Pete Orr because of the throw, but there were a lot of guys that just didn't do it right.
Right. And again, they teach you to run that runner hard all the way back. But interesting enough, when you have that runner on third base, it kind of, you're looking at the runner, you're trying to look at the runner that's in front of you. Very difficult. But you want to make sure, hey, that he breaks, and he breaks all the way from third base.
Justin Turner takes inside. That was a cutter. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Thing is, though, when you're winning those, Tom, when you're winning those ball games, those kind of plays become funny. You can talk about those in the clubhouse. When you lose, you know, it's contributing to the loss.
Ground ball to shortstop. I don't know if they'll turn 2. We'll see. Galvis, quick turn to first. He does get it. 6-4-3. It wasn't hit that hard, but Turner also wasn't running that well up the first base line. So the double play finishes off the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. These guys have gotten quite comfortable with each other up the middle. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of the Phils. And by McDonald's, get a large sweet tea for $1. Bottom of the 4th here. Mets and Phils tied at 1. Earlier today, the Reading Phillies defeated the Trenton Thunder 5-1. Jonathan Pettibone, congratulations to him. He worked into the 9th inning. In fact, he went 8 2/3 before he was lifted from that ball game. Gave up a home run in the 9th inning, but really pitched a heck of a game. Meanwhile, Lehigh Valley lost earlier today 5-0 to Indianapolis. Polanco struck out his first time up. breaks his bat. Murphy behind the bag, throws wide of first. It's the second time in this series that he's gotten to the ball and he's just thrown it. I don't even know if he knows where he's throwing it, but he's throwing it in the area of first base.
Yeah, very difficult play. That's one of those plays for me. Either you make that play or it's a base hit for the hitter that actually hit that play. Ball headed up toward the middle, a little bit off balance. We've seen guys, however, make that play and make it easy, but again, some guys can do it, some can't.
Mayberry pulled the ball his first time up, but it was a grounder to shortstop. Are we reading into anything that he's pulling more of the baseballs? His swings are they a little bit better?
They're starting to get better, and if you notice, he's gotten a little bit taller. I still think he can get even more. You know, and in talking with him, one of the things, though, when you take the pitch, you shouldn't take the pitch where you're going to be on your heels. When you do that, it means you're going to be off balance.
Checks. See there, he opened up just a little bit. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Open up, and he's on his heels because his first movement, as if that pitch is going to be inside. No, before when he came up, he was almost daring the pitcher to come inside, that he was so quick. Sometimes don't understand why guys change when they've had success.
Polanco leads off first. Same pitch. This time he let it go by.
Yeah, he's got a guy who knows shouldn't be able to throw that ball by him. So now what you're just trying to do is just kind of stay up the middle of the field and just try and drive it. Well, a guy throwing like that, he's not going to try and challenge you for a strike inside. Usually it'll be way inside. His bread and butter, obviously, down on the outside part of the plate. Off-speed pitches, change up, curveball.
There's a liner to left center field. That time he tried to come inside against him, and he stayed with it. And the Phils have runners on first and second.
Exactly the point that I was making. As a hitter, you know the guy can't throw the ball by you. You can wait back a little longer, and guess what? Good hitters get jammed. Well, he got jammed on that. Kind of fought that ball off of him. That same pitch, when he is right, goes out of the ballpark there. Pretty good extension. Didn't get on the heels until after he went through with the rotation.
Well, that's now his 4th hit in this series. He's 4 for 9, or make it 4 for 10.
Got to make him feel good.
Schneider singled his first time up. Takes inside, 1-0. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, as Freddie Galvis is in the on-deck circle. Pittsburgh on a base hit by McCutchen, then a run scored, has taken a 3-0 lead over Washington. Eric Bedard started that ball game, but had some back spasms and was lifted for the Pirates.
A lot of baseball left. They're going to go through their problems, and actually already have the Washington Nationals with some of the injuries that they've had, but don't think that anybody's going to run away and hide in this division this year.
Three and one now the count for Schneider. Now, at the start of play today, the Nationals were in first place. 5 games separated the Nationals and the Phillies. It's not a lot of games.
No, not at all. I mean, you can get hot in a week, and depending on what happens with the other teams, be right up there near first, second place.
Throws the changeup, 3-1.
That's his bread and butter. He didn't give in to him and throw that fastball.
Well, this is the 4th 3-ball count for G.
Just want to make solid contact. Don't know if he's going to send the runners. You got to trust Snyder not to strike out.
Up the first base line, the runners will move up, and Ike Davis retires Schneider.
Back-to-back changeup.
Because he had him so far out in front on the first one, he thought maybe he'd still get him out front, which he did.
Yeah. That's why, too. A lot of times, guys today, they won't change or whatever their bats. Against a guy like this, I use a heavier bat. Almost forces you to be able to weigh back. You're not going to be as quick when you go to, say, maybe you're using 31. Now you go to 34 ounces. That's 3 more ounces. And that's going to make you even stay back a little further.
Well, I think guys are so programmed now that it's tough for them to make that change.
Well, they like using that same bat. A lot of them are superstitious.
Galvis singled his first time up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now you say that about switching bats, let's say from a 31 ounce to a 33 ounce. Would you hit before the game with both of those bats?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, only the one bat.
The heavier one?
Usually I always hit with a heavier bat than what I'm going to use in the game anyway. So if I'm using 34 ounces, I'll have at least a couple of 36s around.
Topper over the mound. That's going to get a run home. Galvis will get the RBI. Polanco scores. The Phillies retake the lead.
I'll say one thing about this kid. He does make contact. He's getting better. He's going to get better as a hitter. To be able to come up and ask him to do what he's been doing, it's just been a marvelous job as he chops this ball high enough, getting right over the pitcher's head, and he's running the first base, not able to beat it. And I'll trade that any day for an RBI.
He also gives Cliff Lee a chance to hit with a runner at third. So the RBI for Galvis is 9th. Lee had an RBI his first time up. And he hits that one towards second. Murphy backs up on it. From shallow right, he'll take care of the inning. Phillies retake the lead, though, on the ground out by Galvis. They leave one over at third. So as we move to the top of the 5th inning, Cliff Lee once again has a 1-run lead. On Monday, May 14th, it's Teva Respiratory Asthma Awareness Night on the 14th. Now, don't forget, all fans coming to the game that night will receive the Phillies Liberty Bell cap. Again, that's being given out to everyone, not 14 and under, not 15 and older. Everybody that comes through the gates, to that young lady eating some Italian ice, to that guy right there in front of her. Again, go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets for the 2-game series against the Astros. Tuesday is the Citizens Bank Business Person Special, and after the game, it's the Model Sporting Goods Senior Stroll the Bases. 2-1 Phillies, RBIs by the 8-hole hitter and the 9-hole hitter tonight.
Wow. Take them any way you can get them.
And Cliff Lee will face the bottom third, Davis, Johnson, and G. 53 pitches for Lee through 4.
Got to keep the momentum on your side there. He's got to throw in a few zeros up there. Shut down inning right now would be great.
And a quick one too. Although if you're the Mets, I don't know if it's worth it to be patient because he's throwing strikes.
Yeah, well, they're playing on house money right now. They know they've won their series. They're playing pretty good. They've been able to come back. It has a lot to do with really your whole psyche as a player. You get that feeling that you can come back. You're looking at no lead is too large.
Rollins will take the 2-hopper. And Rob Johnson will come up. Miami Marlins are playing the Houston Astros tonight, and the Marlins have taken a 1-0 lead. Josh Johnson, who's not been great, is pitching for the Marlins. You see he's 0-3. Marlins are closing on Washington and Atlanta. The Nationals have a half-game lead over the Atlanta Braves. They have a game-and-a-half lead over the Mets, and they have a 3.5-game lead over the Marlins, who finally lost last night. So they've won 7 of 8. Rob Johnson takes strike 1.
Oh, you look at the division, however, I mean, everybody's all kind of, bunched up. You'd be surprised if it really went down to the last couple of weeks this year.
Well, the other part of it, too, is with the extra wild card team.
Yeah, becomes very important.
So much to play for. Right now, the 2 extra wild cards would come out of the East. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches, and Johnson is the 4th strikeout for Lee. So 8 ground balls and 4 strikeouts so far for Cliff.
Yeah, he's got that cutter working. Ground balls are always great for any other pitchers. Take a look at the cutter that I'm talking about. See how it rides in on the guy's hand? Oh, he's looking at that ball out over the plate. You go out to hit it, and the ball moves. Jerry Kuzman of the Mets used to throw that pitch back in the day consistently. You thought maybe you might have a little bit of ill effects there. A bunch of arguing going on, but good police throwing strikes and looks to be right on his game. Good pitch.
I don't know if it was Terry Collins, Bob Guerin, Dan Worthen. I don't know who it was that was barking at Rod Culpa, but he was barking right on back at them.
Yeah, usually when you do, you kind of turn your head after you say something, hope he thinks it's someone else. But you're right, though. From that distance, they hear you loud and clear.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Dylan G. He scored the run for the Mets back in the 3rd. And the pitch from Lee. Cutter didn't come back all the way. It was close. Strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lee. 65 pitches through the first 5 innings for Cliff. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets. Go to the bottom of the 5th here at Philadelphia. Daily News Live is courtside. Before tip-off, get the latest reports on Sixers pregame live. Then at 7, watch the Sixers use home court advantage against the Bulls in Game 6. Total Sixers-Bulls Game 6 coverage starts tomorrow night at 5, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Big game tomorrow night, Sarge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Got to be able to shoot good. Got to be able to shoot free throws. So if you can't shoot, you're not going to be able to win. Same thing. It boils down to you got to have some offense.
You could break down any sport, can't you?
Well, not any sport. But you know I could finger roll on that basketball.
I got you.
Okay.
Here's Rollins to lead it off in the 5th, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Rollins is 0 for 2. He's grounded out, and he lined out to right center.
Well, got him as a pull hitter, pulling on the ground.
Well, there he is. He hooks that one into right. That was a changeup that G for most of the night has gotten it down in the strike zone. That one hung out there a little bit.
Well, you see the difference though when that ball gets up just a little bit. Hitter's eyes get big. Much easier to hit. Take a look at it as it's just coming in there. And again, he's more of an upper body type of a swinger there. You can see his arms as he hooked the ball that was away. Usually that ball will be driven right either up the middle or to maybe left center, though. Good job, however, getting on base.
Juan Pierre just showed bunt and took the first pitch outside. It's 1-0. Phillies are up 2-1 at the bottom of the 5th.
Well, for me, too. I mean, you can go either way. Hit and run there with this situation because the guy, he's around the plate. Bunt the ball. You can always do that with the speed of Pierre. Automatically puts pressure on you. But when they get on, nobody out, I like to see them utilize that speed a little bit because that's a big part of how they're going to win ball games this year.
So utilize Rollins and Pierre's speed.
Oh, absolutely.
Shows bunt again. Now it's 2-0.
David Wright kind of thinking the same thing as he's up on the grass. Juan looking at the side. You know, and even with him playing right there where David is, if that ball is bunted the way that Juan Pierre can and he deads it, it'd be very difficult to throw him out. Bunts that ball and maybe Wright comes in and pick it up. J-Roll is running at that time. He can just keep going. It would be foot race to third base.
There goes Rollins. The pitch is fouled. Little hit and run. That was a really tough pitch to try to make contact with for Pierre.
And unfortunately, that's exactly what you're supposed to do as a hitter. You end up going out, and there was a ball that he almost just threw the bat. You see how far he reached for that? See where the catcher is? That ball way outside, and did a good job just really making contact.
And I guess as a hitter, when you get that sign, even though Rollins had that bag stolen anyway, it's kind of tough not to.
Well, when you get the sign, you got to follow through with it.
Stays alive and fouls that one back.
Not a bad running count here. 2-2. 3-2 would be automatic.
That was a breaking ball, and the catcher Johnson held on. Only the third strikeout for G. Well, that'll frustrate Pierre because he didn't do what he wanted to do.
Yeah, and he usually makes contact, and especially on a guy that doesn't throw that hard, though. Give G credit. Look how that ball just sank down on him. That's a pretty filthy changeup. The ball goes down. Or looked to be a changeup.
Now Victorino. 0 for 2.
One of the things upsetting, though, for Juan, he wanted to get J-Ro in the scoring position. Put a little more pressure on Glee. Split on him.
Now it's 2-0 to Victorino, and normally you'd get a fastball, and he still might, but with G, he may still throw a changeup.
Well, you're right about that too, though. That has been his bread and butter.
Well, that was a fastball up high, 3-0.
Pretty good fastball. G getting that up there, 91. That's a decent fastball, but he doesn't throw it a lot. He pitches more backwards.
Well, Shane was taking a long look over at Juan Samuel, the meeting at the mound. I don't think Charlie would give him a green light, but if he does, it's like Cole Hamels 3-0. Cole could throw that changeup 3-0, and it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, and you're right about that. And we've seen base runners, including J-Ro, 3-0, being able to steal a base. A little bit more deliberate.
Throws a fastball for strike one. It's 3-1, so no green light for Shane.
See if he takes a chance and run. I mean, you want to. I still think you got to be able to force the issue. These are good running counts if you're feeling okay.
Doesn't go, and it's 3-2.
One out, you would figure, again for me, 3-2. You want to be on the move.
There he goes. Over toward third, right at David Wright. I mean, he was playing right in the spot.
Yeah, right in the hole, exactly. Almost didn't even have to move.
A runner in scoring position now for Pence. Bet you that Hunter Pence and Dylan G both went to the University of Texas Arlington. Dylan G got out of Texas Arlington in 2007. No balls and 1 strike to count with 2 outs. And this has been kind of the storyline, Murph, for this series. The Mets have gotten it done in this spot. The Phillies, not so much.
It's very true. 11 runs this series with 2 outs for the Mets and runners in scoring position. Not a big surprise. Both these teams, though, have been pretty good this year. Mets in tops in the National League at 289 coming into tonight. But the Phils at 252 on that list as well, hoping to get one here. They did get one earlier in this game with 2 outs, hoping to add another one right here.
Yeah, the Mets were among the leaders, among the top 10 coming into this series. But with this series alone, they've jumped right over top of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And right behind the Washington Nationals in that category.
They've had good at-bats.
1-2 the count.
They haven't swung a lot of bad pitches, but they've made every one of the pitchers, it seems like, really work. And they've had a little luck to boot.
And Pence went fishing. And that'll wrap up the 5th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left in scoring position for the Phillies. So we've completed our first 5. Now to the 6th inning. Phil's up 2-1. Key spots. When Carlos Ruiz isn't swinging the bat, he is behind the dish, taking down would-be base stealers one after another, limiting Phillies opponents on the base paths. No matter the situation, Chooch always has a way to find the plate. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, Carlos Ruiz not in the starting lineup tonight, but what a start to the season for Carlos. He's been so good behind the plate for so many years, and now offensively he's really helped the Phils along without Ryan Howard, without Chase Utley. It's been a good start for him. He's got a little tenderness in his wrist, which is why he's not in the lineup tonight. So Brian Schneider's catching for Cliff Lee. As we start the 6th, Lee begins with 67 pitches. That was number 68. Kyle Kendrick, who is stretched out, is warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies. 1 ball and 1 strike to Andres Torres.
You just don't want to bring Cliff Lee back and just have him go too many pitches, especially after that oblique. Want to bring him back so he'll be able to sustain the rest of the season.
Citizens Bank Park sold out again tonight. And it's 1-1 to Torres. Make it 1-2. They will be careful with the pitch count, but the way he's throwing so far through the first 5, I don't know how the 6th inning will unfold, but through the first 5, he looks like a guy that's seasoned enough to go 9.
No doubt. I mean, he probably would tell you he'd love to do that. Those guys has a lot of fun when he's out there on the mound when it's his turn. As you see Kyle Kendrick getting ready. Fighting Phils need to add on when it comes to their turn to bat again. He knows exactly where he wants to throw the ball.
That tells you there's some pretty good movement for Cliff Lee. Down. 98 batters faced this season, 67 either struck out or grounded out. There's a liner to center field. Here comes Victorino, and it goes right on by him. This is going to be trouble. Torres runs well. Pierre and Pence trying to track it down. Torres going to third, and he'll be held there. And it's a leadoff triple here in the 6th inning. There might have been a time a couple of years ago that was easily an inside the park home run for Torres.
Yeah.
But he's had leg problems this year, and that's fortunate for the Phillies.
I thought if he breaks right away, maybe he has a chance. I thought for me, a little bit undecided, but when you come in on the side like he does, you take a chance on the ball getting by you. That's exactly what it does. And you can see Torres, he doesn't break it down running as if he's a sprinter as he goes right into third base with no throw.
So it's his first triple of the year. So now, with nobody out and a runner at third, Lee will face Murphy. And he delivers low. It's 1-0.
Okay, and that's what I was talking about a lot of times when you're talking about errors and leading the league. They may not have been an error physically, mentally for me. Just a judgment with a 2-run lead. You got to keep that ball in front of you there. With a 1-run lead, you want to keep that ball in front of you if you can. Obviously, he's trying to make the play, but scoreboard's going to dictate. Keep that ball in front of me right there. Not a do or die situation for me.
Little topper, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Murphy. Torres was going on contact on that particular swing.
Yeah, you got the infield back there, giving up a run to get an out. He's trying to control the damage right now.
I think your point about it doesn't always show up in the stats about playing a clean game is right on. That's a particular play that'll go down as a triple, and unless you watch the game or read the recap of the game,
Well, yeah, and you got to be able to make sure that you execute. I mean, there's no finer fielder, obviously, than Victorino.
Sure.
He's a Gold Glover, but again, a lot of times too, when things aren't going well, good pitch. You got to make sure that you do the little things in order to make sure that you keep the game close there. I'll take a look at it as he throws his breaking ball, and that is filthy. That's what you call bailing right there, too, by the way, for you youngsters. You want to make sure you keep that shoulder right in there, that shoulder going toward first base.
Well, again, the Phillies will play the infield back with right up. He's grounded out twice. Both times to third. Hit the ball hard his last time up. And he loops that one to center field. Coming on is Victorino. That'll drop. Torres will score, and we're all even at 2. An RBI for David Wright. It's his 18th of the year. And he's now hit it 4 straight. It's also his 4th hit of this series.
Always seem to be pitching to him with runners in scoring position.
Does seem that way. You're right.
This guy's just a good hitter. I mean, say what you want about David Wright, one of the better players in the game. Took him a little while to get over being hit in the head. All smiles now, however. He's back.
Hairston is 1 for 2. Lee is right at 80 pitches. That's 81.
Harrison hits the ball hard. Don't understand why he's only hitting 238. Hope everybody's okay on that left side. That was a bullet that went into the stands.
0-2 the count to Harrison. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
A lot of stepping out on the hitters for the New York Mets. These pitchers usually like to work quick.
A couple years ago, to speed up the game, the umpires weren't supposed to allow anybody to step out.
Yeah, what happened to that rule?
I don't know. I think somebody forgot to review it.
Well, they do it. Just about every single night we see players doing the same thing, and not just 1 or 2, just about all of them.
Over toward third. That could be 2. Polanco to second for 1. Good feed and good relay by Galvis. A 5-4-3 double play. It's the second double play of the night. A run scores to tie it up. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Cliff Lee's night most likely done. Can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. And by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. Well, a nice return by Cliff Lee tonight. He allowed 2 runs and 5 hits over 6 innings, 84 pitches. Since he is at 84 pitches, we'll assume that he's not going to come out and pitch the 7th. Shane Victorino between innings going over with Juan Samuel, who is the outfield instructor for the Phillies. Victorino then wanders down and I think said something to Cliff Lee. Sarge, you said it. I mean, it's a guy that makes so many good plays.
Right. And you know what, though, when you're a player, too, and you're giving 100%, I mean, I think guys really understand that. Obviously, they do with Victorino. He'll go through a brick wall for you. No, but when things aren't going well, each and every play becomes magnified.
Sure.
And especially if you're not winning the ball games. Again, you're winning those ball games. You know, you'll have players joking around and mimicking what Victorino was doing.
Yeah, I think that goes along to what Charlie said last night, that he thinks everybody's trying too hard.
Yeah, I think at the end of the game, you got to ask yourself, what have you done in order to make the team win that particular night?
Back toward the middle, Turner throws out Polanco. I think that's what Charlie was even talking about today. He reiterated some of what he said last night, explained it a little bit more because people asked whether he was going to, hold a team meeting and talk about the way the team has played, particularly during the stretch in which they've lost 4 or 5. And Charlie does talk to players individually throughout the course of the day, and when he says that he doesn't know what to say to them, he just feels, I think part of it is that he felt like if he was having a team meeting, he might be piling it on a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's the job of the manager to be able to
gauge that.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's why you'll have times, and personally myself, along even with, Mike Schmidt, we've called our own meetings. But then you got to have a very confident manager to know that you're doing and saying the right things. Jim Fry was a manager that did not want you to have any meetings unless he was in there himself. So every manager has their own style.
2-0 the count to Mayberry. Over toward the hole, Turner backhands. And with 2 outs, Brian Schneider will be the batter.
Well, he is hitting that ball a little bit harder, you might want to say. Now, take a look at his stance there in April. And one of the things there in April, I like him when he's on the balls of his foot there. And you can see tonight, although you do have tonight that's on it, he's more flat-footed. Again, for me, in April, a little bit maybe more of a hitting sense, but I think he can still get up, even in both those, a little bit further, maybe spread out just a little bit more for his balance. He's a big guy, and he doesn't really have to stride. When you're not really striding and have good balance, to be consistent, it's almost impossible. And looking at Albert Bell hit, same way. His balance is off. When have you seen balance off like that on a good hitter?
Albert Pujols, you mean?
Albert Pujols. And I'm saying that to say that everybody goes through that same thing. Mays would say it all the time. You're going to go through a slump during the course of the season.
Schneider hits it the opposite way. They had the shift on with 3 infielders on the right side. That wouldn't have mattered anyway. But he tosses it into left for a 2-out single. Well, I think the subtlety of the split screen with Mayberry, you talked about the balls of his feet. The other thing, too, is that his hands are subtly higher. He's up just a little bit. And maybe that will make the difference in, how fluid he is to the ball. Yeah,
it's getting to the ball. I mean, he can have his hands wherever you want. You can have them down the way that, Barry Bonds had them. You can have it up in the air where Julio Franco used to have it. But when you're getting toward the ball, all the good hitters are in that V situation the same way.
Galvis takes outside. It's 1-0. Lance Nix is out on deck to pinch hit for Lee.
Oh, that hitting is confidence. I mean, you're not getting any hits. You're not having much fun or confidence.
Ball, 1 strike the count to Galvis.
I'm impressed with G with really not throwing a lot of fastball around the plate again, making the guys hit a lot of all-speed pitches. Pretty good pitch. Ball toward the outside part of the plate there.
Three and two with 2 outs here at the bottom of the 6th. They'll start the runner on this pitch. Galvis to left center field. That's pretty well hit. Going back on it is Rutino back to the warning track, and it's off the top of the wall. Schneider's going to score. It's an RBI double for Galvis, and for the third time tonight, the Phillies retake the lead.
Boy, oh boy.
Second RBI of the night for Galvis. Second hit of the night for Freddie.
And more importantly there, with the 2 outs, there's this young kid hitting that ball off the wall, opposite way, showing some power, hitting a pretty good pitch that's going away, stays on top of the ball, hitting against the front foot. There it is, right there off the wall there as he cruises in to second base. He's safe at second base, safe and secure, Tom, with New York Live.
You know, that ball hit that little fence on top of the wall. It was just inches away from getting out of here.
I can't believe he hit the ball that far. And we're not talking a lot of wind blowing out there. As a matter of fact, when you look at the flags, they're just about dead. What a big hit, though, for Galvis, being able to hit that ball off the wall. Take a look at it right there. Lucky, woof. I mean, maybe just another biscuit or something there at breakfast to get that ball out of the ballpark.
So now Lance Nix will pinch hit for Lee, who leaves with the lead. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Nix. Nix's numbers, the Phillies as a team, not the best as pitch hitters. In fact, their average, although it's rising, is still last in the National League. Spinner back towards center field. There's a base hit. Galvis on his way home. He's going to score. Nix hobbles to first. It's 4-2 Phillies.
Huge hit.
They didn't hit it hard, but he hit it enough. I think they're going to have somebody pitch run for him.
Charles Galvis got in there, shaking his hand and knowing what a big hit that it was. Terry coming out. Collins.
Yep, that's going to be it for Dylan G. So Charlie Knight will have a chance to put a pinch runner in for Nix.
Boy, just off the end of the bat, I mean, that ball's spinning so much. You can see now as Galvis coming in, high fives, sending G right there to the shower.
So Dylan G will exit. Scott Sheridan's out to talk to Lance Nix. And Freddie Galvis catching his breath and feeling pretty good about himself because he has a couple RBIs tonight. And the Phillies have a 4-2 lead. There's a smile from Greg Rose. That's good to see. It's an AT&T call to the bullpen here at Citizens Bank Park. We'll be back right after this. Yep, 2 for Galvis, 1 for Lee, and then 1's for Lance Nix. Galvis, the second RBI, gave the Phils a 3-2 lead. Here's Lance Nix with this pinch hit. The calf is really bothering him now. As he goes up the first base line, he's going up in a little bit of pain there, Sarge.
Yeah, he is, and you can tell that it does hurt him. Gutty performance coming in, and you can see how Scott Sheridan, half trainer, leaving the field.
Well, Carlos Ruiz has come on the pinch run for him. Phillies have the luxury of having 3 catchers on the roster. I don't know if Carlos is going to stay in the game to catch when we go to the 7th.
Yeah, I think too on that back swing. Oh boy.
Got Johnson.
Oh boy,
yeah.
Just almost knocked him for a loop as that bat hit him right in the face mask, I believe.
Rollins with that right-handed against Burdack. Jimmy is 1 for 3. Singled his last time up.
Just huge hits. Anytime you can get them and score a run with 2 outs.
See the bullpens this series. That's been a big storyline. You know, the Mets bullpen, and Terry Collins even talked about this last week, has not been very good, but in this series they have. The Phillies bullpen, meanwhile, their earned run average is last in the National League. Rollins pops it up right side. This should do it for the inning. Murphy's out into shallow right. Phillies will settle for 2. They get 2 on 3 hits. They leave 1. We've completed 6. Kyle Kendrick will pick up for Cliff Lee when we come back in the 7th.
Well, Cliff Lee, great job here tonight. Gave him 6 strong innings. Even knocked in a run. He will leave now after Freddie Galvis broke the tie with that double high off the wall in left center field. He's knocked in a couple tonight. Almost hit a 2-run home run there. And then Lance Nix off the bench for a pinch hit single. And then they're going to turn it over to the bullpen. And the bullpen, well, you know what? They're about due to get it done here tonight.
Oh, Kyle Kendrick will take over. That's the first step out of the bullpen. Kendrick going to this year with a 5.30 earned run average. He started the 3 games while Cliff Lee was out on the disabled list. And he's been in the bullpen the last few days, and now he's ready to go. And he'll face Kirk Neuenhuis, who will pinch hit for Vinny Rottino. Neuenhuis second among rookies at batting average. He's hitting over 300. He's at 310. No changes behind the plate. Brian Schneider remains back there.
Yeah, that's the idea, having Kratz here, that they do have another catcher available. Heaven forbid they got Brian were to get injured, but you know they can make another move and then have a catcher.
Charlie wanted to stay away from Carlos behind the plate tonight with tomorrow's off day, hoping that their there might be some improvement in that wrist before Friday's game. There's a strike from Kendrick. 2-1. It'll be Newman Heist, Justin Turner, Ike Davis as we start the 7th. Late on a cutter, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Three-two pitch. Ground ball, foul. John Mayberry will leave it for Sam, the ball girl down the right field line. She was hoping that a fan was going to pick that one up. Tough play off the wall. Another foul ball. It remains 3-2. Phillies bullpen earned run average of 4.83. Began the year pretty strong. 2.62 ERA for the first 16 games. Not so strong the last 14. And there's ball 4. So Kendrick issues a walk to start the 7th. Justin Turner is the batter. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murphy had a chance to talk to Charlie Manuel about Kyle Kendrick a little bit today.
I did indeed, Tom. And, you know, you just talked about the numbers early in the season. The bullpen was stronger than it has been over the past 2 weeks. And some of that may have to do with the fact that Kyle Kendrick was not in the bullpen as he was getting the spot starts for Cliff Lee. He is back there now. And Charlie Manuel said, you know what? It can only make them better in the bullpen. There's a guy he can trust, a guy that is stretched out and can give him some innings and also can come in and get some big outs for this team. He's done it before. And Charlie Manuel believes he can do it again. So he's hoping that just by sliding him back there, that this bullpen gets a little bit better tonight.
Well, and coming into tonight's game, his earned run average as a reliever is 1.93 in 4 relief appearances. And Rich Doobie was asked yesterday about what role Kyle would be in, and he said he wasn't sure as of yet. But this role is to hopefully carry this game at least to the 8th, maybe to the 9th if he can give two innings, 2 fresh innings. But we'll see what happens. Justin Turner, the hitter, with a runner at first, and a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
Now, last thing you want to do after you get 2 runs is come in and walk the first batter. And now, you know, Kyle wants to try and get a sinker and get a ground ball. Turner doesn't run that well, and get a ground ball in the infield. They could get 2.
He grounded to a double play his last time up. That's when we really saw that he doesn't run that well, because the ball wasn't hit that hard and they turned the double play rather easily.
Especially that guy at second base on one end and the other end of a double play. Freddie Galvis has gotten, he's just unbelievably good at the pivot out there, which is tough. It's tough for a second baseman who plays second base, let alone for a shortstop who's just learning how to play it. He's amazing with that.
He's got the stirrups and sanitaries going with the Liberty Bell on the side.
It's good. You know, the thing about him is he gets away from contact so well down there. You know, they want to go in there and try and blow him up, and when they slide, he's not there.
Oh, and 2 the count to Turner. Phillies with 4 runs on 10 hits tonight. The Mets 2 runs on 5 hits. Phillies led it 1-0. Mets tied it up with a run in the 3rd. Then the Phillies took a 2-1 lead. Mets tied it up in the 6th. Now it's in Kendrick's hands after Lee went 6 strong. Toward left center field, Victorino on the run, and it's over his head. It'll go toward the wall. A run is going to score. Turner will stop at second. And it's now a 4-3 game. Ball just kept on carrying.
Well, he hit it well. The cutter looked like, doesn't throw sliders that much, so it looked like a cutter out over the plate. I really thought he'd try to go after him with sinkers, you know, and try and get a double play ball. There it is. See, it was just kind of a spinner coming up there. They were playing him a little bit towards right center, so Shane had no chance to go back there and get it. Phillies take leads, and here come the Mets again.
Well, Ike Davis is the hitter. It'll be Davis, then Johnson, then the pitcher spot. They'll hit for Burdick if they get that far. Davis 0 for 2.
Left-handed off the bench tonight, with the exception of Nicky, is the other catcher.
In the dirt, good play by Schneider. Fans booing Kyle just a little bit as he's behind 3-0. Davis take it all the way. 3-1 to count.
There's that sinker that he get ground balls on. I think the Mets have done a really good job coming from behind. Only the Braves with more in the National League.
National League average 7. Phillies were that kind of team last year where they'd come from behind a lot. Davis hits it to right field pretty deep. Pence going back, and it's off the base of the wall. Victorino will play it on the bare hand. The throw goes towards second. The hold Turner at third. He was watching all the way wondering. And now second and third with nobody out. A walk and 2 doubles here in the 7th. Rich Dubie's coming out to the mound.
There was another cutter too. It looked like it was up in the zone. Looked like it didn't do a whole lot. Davis really struggling with off speed. Yep. Actually went down and in a little bit. Runner at second was really full with nobody out. Turner. So that's why he only gets the third on that play. Plus it bounced right back. Shane Victorino backing the play up.
Now he didn't go halfway. He went back at tags because the ball was to right, so he's hoping to get to third.
Yeah, what he's supposed to do on a ball where outfielders spinning all over the place like that and showing his number is just be close enough that you go tag up if you have to. But when a guy's in that much trouble, you can take a little more than he took, and he should have scored on that play. But with nobody out, and you know, a 1-run game, you know, when he didn't do exactly the right thing, he's just got to stop at third.
Johnson tonight is 1 for 2. Phillies bullpen quiet right now. Phillies play the corners in, the middle back, and it's 1-0.
Oh yeah, you give up the tying run at home here and just hope you can get it out. You know, stop this right now at a tie game.
Two to the count. Lucas Duda's come out on deck.
Nobody out. Just to stay the way it's going right now out there.
Kyle last appeared on the 4th of May. So he's had ample rest. The 3-0 pitch and ball 4. So the bases are loaded. Brian Sanchez will take the jacket off and he'll start to warm. And Lucas Duda will pinch hit. Duda's normally the starting right fielder. He does have 4 home runs and 15 runs batted in. And now the Phillies will play at double play depth. They'll concede the run, exchange it for a couple outs. And Duda takes a cutter for strike 1.
Now they're at a point they would just gladly give up 2 outs right now for a tie game.
Ooh, it hit him, and the game is tied. Oh boy. He hasn't gotten out yet. He's walked 2. He's hit a batter. Now the top of the order is due up, and Andres Torres. Brian Sanchez is probably just about ready. Torres tonight has been on base twice. He tripled his last time up. And the pitch. A strike, and it's 0-1. Dylan G, who's still sitting in the dugout, is off the hook. He will not receive a decision. He was on the losing side once this inning began. Ground ball right side. Galvis turns quickly for 1. The Mets will take the lead, and the Phillies get one. It's 5-4 with the 3rd run of the inning scoring here in the 7th. So for the first time tonight, New York leads it.
And that's just unfortunately been the pattern of this series. What we're watching right now in this inning.
And we'll truck out there the same statement we've said many times before this series. Keep it at 1. Unfortunately, the Phillies were unable to do that in last night's ball game. They allowed the 2 runs in the 9th. Daniel Murphy. And he hits that one back toward the middle. That should be 2. Rollins will take it to the bag himself, so they do keep it at 1. But the Mets score 3 runs here at the top of the 7th inning. Not the kind of return that Kyle had expected or hoped for coming out of the bullpen. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, it's the Mets 5 and the Phillies.
batting 5th. Now pitching for the Mets, batting in the 9th position, number 46, Manny Acosta.
Time now for the Dodge Stump the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. Wills, here you go. I'll give you a question one more time. Can you name the 3 Mets that have led the National League in home runs?
One has to be Darryl Strawberry.
It has to be, right? And it is.
King Kong was unbelievable up there with a lot of home runs.
He used to battle Schmitty and I guess the Bull, too.
And I'm going to go with a guy who had one great year hitting homers. And Whitey Herzog wanted to check his bats all the time. From Clearwater, Florida, Hojo.
Howard Johnson is correct. 38 home runs back in '91. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans. Kyle Kendrick did not have a good 7th inning. That's an understatement. As the Mets down 2, scored 3. Kirk Neuenhuis was part of that rally. He'll stay in the game to play left field. And Manny Acosta is the new pitcher for the Mets. Juan Pierre leads it off, and the first pitch is over for a strike. Acosta, his numbers are, well, they're not good, but they've been good in this series. In fact, his earned run average has dropped nearly a run since the series began. And that ball goes right under the glove of David Wright, who was playing in on the grass. And that's the benefit of being Juan Pierre, because the third baseman is always in on the grass.
Yeah, that was a bullet, too. That should be a hit, because he's in so close, and it was hit so hard. And it is a hit. Here it is. Juan Pierre hits this thing really hard, and David Wright, do or die. That thing is on him so fast, skids on that grass, and it's gone. Like, you know, if I'm playing back a little bit, I'll catch that.
Victorino's 0 for 3. He's lined out, and he's grounded out twice.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, everybody else is hitting this guy, and the Phillies are about due to hit him.
Shane's numbers against him. Acosta's pitched for the Braves. He's pitched for the Yankees. Now with the Mets. The Phillies have seen him mostly with the Mets. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Victorino, and a throw over to first, and Pierre is back.
Boy, that's a quick move. Those are really good feet. And wherever Pierre was, don't go any further. Look for that footprint. What a good hitter's count right now from a hard thrower like Acosta, a right-hander to a left-handed hitter. Hole on the right field. I mean on the right side.
Ball to the right side. Davis takes the hop. There's 1. There's 2. It's been that kind of series. Hit it right on the screws, but right at the first baseman. 3-6-3 on the putout for the double play.
Davis really smooth fielding first baseman, too. He's right at the bag, and he had plenty of time to do the 3-6-3. The 1 hopper right at him. Big, long hop. As Victorino smothered that pitch, and then an easy 3-6-3.
So 2 outs. Here's Hunter Pence, 0 for 3 in this ball game. Just received a report on Lance Nix. It says we expected it's the left calf. It's a strained left calf, and he is now listed as day-to-day. Probably do some more tests tomorrow on the off day. Penn stays alive as he fouled it back. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack, compliments of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Got a guy with a Rutgers hat and a guy with a Penn State hat out there. And a breaking ball, and Pence is rung up for the second time tonight. And Acosta, after allowing the leadoff single, gets the double play and a K. We go to the 8th inning. Phillies trail it by 1. Deals on innovation you can count on. Innovation for all. By the Pennsylvania Lottery. Play Instant Millions, the new instant game for the Pennsylvania Lottery. Must be 18 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. 5-4 the score. 43,840. Sellout number 217 in a row for the Phillies. And they've led it for most of the game, except after the top of the 7th. The Mets scored 3. Now as we head to the 8th, they still trail it by 1, 5-4. David Wright, Scott Hairston, and Neuenhuis due up for New York. Kyle Kendrick gets set to begin his 2nd inning of relief. Roush is warming in the pen, so I guess the closer tonight, if the Mets get to that point, would be Francisco. That ball is hit well to right center field. Pence going back. It's over his head, off the wall, bobbled by Victorino. And a double for David Wright. That's 3 doubles in the last couple of innings. Bill Meyer on the phone. Let's see who gets up now.
David Wright swinging early, a high sinker, hits it off the base of the wall in right center.
Jose Contreras is warming for the Phils. Broke his bat. That'll be a base hit and another run. Wright scores easily. It'll be another double for New York. It's 6-4 Mets here in the 8th. It's 4 doubles. Second hit of the night for Hairston. And Neuenhuis will bat for the 2nd time. Brian Schneider's going out to stall.
Yeah, Contreras just got up. It's just a helpless feeling they have in that dugout right now, because everybody they bring in late in these games, it's all blowing up in their face. You know, it's not like it's the same people. One of those ruts right now, and you know, gotta get out of it sooner or later.
Well, Charlie was just waiting for Schneider to get back. Now he's coming out. And that's going to be it for Kyle Kendrick. So Charlie makes the signal to the pen. Contreras just finished up his warm-up tosses, or is in the process of doing so. Kyle Kendrick will give the baseball to Charlie Manuel. 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 plus. The runner at second is his responsibility. We've got a pitching change. Baseball's best mascot and most recognized mascot is now available by calling 877-GO-PHILS or by visiting the Majestic Clubhouse store. See them all around the ballpark here, and we've also seen them on the road. There's one of those dangle hats. As the rain falls a little harder here at the ballpark, you might need one. Oh, we're in the top of the 8th inning. A runner at second. A run is in. Kyle Kendrick's line is not complete, but he had a rough inning plus. The guy at second is still his responsibility, but so far he's allowed 4 runs. Jose Contreras in for the 9th time. And Neuenhuis, who walked his first time up to start the rally in the 7th, is up now for the 2nd time in this game. Tonight Cliff Lee started, and he pitched very well through 6, but because of his pitch count restrictions, he was done after 6. Then it was Kendrick who allowed the 3 in the 7th, 1 here so far in the 8th. Phil's had a 4-2 lead once the bottom of the 6th ended. The wind is picked up, the rain is picked up.
And the wind's coming out of the northwest right now. It's almost a good sign, because it's supposed to do that tomorrow and get cooler and good weather come in. I feel it's cooler.
Nationals have edged closer to the Pirates. It's 3-2 now in the 7th. As you take a look at the flags out in the outfield.
Yeah, that's when you see it blowing in that direction. That's the northwest, where it's going to get a little nicer weather eventually, cooler. Also is going to knock the ball down to left field.
Swing and a miss. Threw him a split. An out recorded here in the 8th. And Justin Turner will be the next one up. Turner has an RBI and a double. He's also scored a run. 1 for 3.
Don't forget about Hairston out there now. Not necessarily a base stealer, but you know the way they're playing, he's very aggressive. He could go if you don't pay any attention to him.
Outside 2-0. Phillies were hoping that this homestand would bring some success and get them back within reach of the Nationals, since they only had 10 home games coming into this series. It was the least amount in Major League Baseball, I should say, in National League. First 2 games haven't helped. And this one, although not over, the Phillies are trailing it by 2, 6-4 here in the 8th. Out toward Pence. The wind is bringing it in. Pence comes running in and he drops it. First error of the year for Pence. I think there are a lot of folks looking around in disbelief at what they're watching these last few games.
Yeah, as you said, the wind knocked this down. All of a sudden, the wind has changed. It fools him. Where did it hit in the glove? Right on the not in the webbing. It hit on the finger, the outside finger of the glove. The runner at second with 1 out is thinking about tagging and going to third there. So the ball then starts bouncing back towards the infield. So he stayed at second.
So instead of 2 outs at a runner at second, 1 out, runners on first and second for Ike Davis. 1 for 3 in this game. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, these games are getting into a cover your eyes situation.
Was a little bit of energy too after Galvis's RBI, his second of the game.
Yeah, it looked like he almost hit that railing, top of the
railing.
Yeah, almost hit a 2-run home run, and then they got that run too.
But it was short-lived, and man, oh man, that's a 3-run bomb off the facing of the second deck. 4th home run of the year for Davis. It's now 9-4 Mets.
Well, there comes a point where you have to bottom out, I guess, and this is it, hopefully.
Thought it was yesterday.
Yeah, well,
particularly the way the Phillies came out tonight.
It wasn't.
Got 6 great innings from Cliff.
Mentioned how the wind had picked up going to right field, and Ike Davis, who has been struggling mightily, got a breaking ball there. It looked like down and in, and with the wind blowing out, it was going to be a home run anyway. It almost went in the second deck.
9-4 here in the top of the 8th, and Rob Johnson, the hitter, 7 unanswered runs for the Mets in the last couple innings. And there's a strike. It's 0-1.
The Mets haven't had much fun for a while. And early on in the season, they're playing good baseball. They're catching the Phillies at just the right time, and they're taking advantage of it. And they're having a little bit of fun right now.
Yeah. Oh, 2 the count. Phillies have got to figure out a way to stop the bleeding once they turn things over to the pen. Starters earned run average is 4th in the National League, and for a good part of the season, first 5 weeks, they were second only to the Nationals, and they've dipped a little bit over the last 10 days or so, but they're still getting performances that are good enough to win. But they're just not able right now to finish off the game. Look at the change from the 6th inning to the 7th inning. 0-2 the count. On the hands, a foul ball. That'll hop into the seats. Off the end of the bat, Pence will get another chance. Mike Baxter will pitch in. Baxter, a .304 hitter. He's 5 for 13 as a pinch hitter this year. He walked last night and scored a run in the 9th inning. Takes low, 1-0. So of the 4 runs allowed right now, 3 are earned. And if anything else scores in this inning, they'll be unearned. Roller over to shortstop. Rollins will get the throw over. Side is retired, but the damage certainly has been done. A 3-run home run by Ike Davis, coupled with an RBI double by Scott Hairston, has blasted this game wide open for the New York Mets. Here's Davis's swing. That made it 9-4, which is where we stand as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. A preview of tomorrow night's critical Sixers Bulls Game 6. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sports Night. It's presented by Toyota. Tonight at 10, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, work to do is an understatement. Bottom of the 8th inning. John Roush is the new pitcher for the Mets. Placido Polanco will lead it off. It's 9-4 New York, and the first pitch a strike. Roush 3-1, a 2.70 earned run average. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Dylan G went 5 2/3. Phillies got 4 on him. Tim Burdack went 1/3. And Acosta went 1. Polanco starts it off with his second hit of the night. He's now 4 hits away from 2,000 for his career.
Yeah, that'll be a real nice accomplishment when he gets there. A lot of hits, 2,000.
Well, the other thing, too, is that quietly his average is creeping up after it kind of bottomed out a couple weeks ago. Wheels, I think that this is easily the storyline of this series.
Oh.
Mets bullpen.
That's an easy one to figure out.
Yeah, no runs in 9 innings of work. The Phillies bullpen, 12 earned runs in 6 1/3.
Yeah, they've had leads in this series, obviously.
Every game.
And given them up.
Every game.
Yeah. Right around the same point in the game, too.
2-0 in game 1. 4-0 in last night's game. 4-2 and also 1-0 and 2-1. But 4-2 was the latest lead in tonight's game. The count to Mayberry. 2-1 the count. Phillies fans chanting "Let's go Phillies" in the background, trying to get this team rolling here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Brian Sanchez is throwing in the pen. Brian Schneider is in the on-deck circle. 3-1 the count.
A lot harder to hit it out to left and left center now. Now the wind's flipped around. You can see the way that Ike Davis's ball carried. You're going to get a lot of help to right center.
Over to right field. Hairston stuttered for a moment. And that's the first out. Wheels, time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. We had a couple of pretty cool shots of some of the youngsters in the crowd, including before the ball game when Jordani Valdespin got his home run ball back. How about that shot? That is a shot of a lifetime right there. And of course our dance on the dugout featured a young lady who was kind of surprised at the Fanatic, called her on up. She brought a picture of the Fanatic with her as Brian Schneider hits it foul, and it's 0-1. And then the Fanatic invited her up for a little dance. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Good strategy on her part that worked out.
$43,000 when the game began tonight.
Well, a lot of people left, and you can understand. You know, the way it's kind of blown up here late.
0-1 the count to Schneider. 1 ball, 1 strike the count.
They've been overshifting Brian Schneider all night tonight. Only hitter on the Phillies at playing that 3-man overshift defense. You see it. And he beat it one time with a base hit.
It's that one right into the shift. Murphy will get the out at first.
They could play all the way out there with that big lead. You know, if you were in a close game, they would have had the second baseman in a lot closer. But right now, all they're trying to do is get outs and get out of here. They're going to Miami tonight. They got a late arrival
And an off day tomorrow. Freddie Galvis is 2 for 3 tonight. He has 2 runs batted in. Pete Orr's on deck to pitch hit. Freddie's average is up over 200 with his 2 hits tonight. He was at 189 when the night began.
Yeah, he lit the place up with that double, no doubt.
Sure did, yeah.
Like Dylan G threw him a 3-2 fastball, and he almost hit it out to left center, gave the Phillies the lead. But then, you know, the bad stuff started again.
Alan Porter. Just let everybody know that Galvis didn't check. He hooks that one. That's going to be another base hit for Galvis. Polanco will score easily. Freddie on his way to second. He's going to get a chance to get to third. Daniel Murphy won't even make the throw. It's now 9-5. The Phils are within 4. And Freddie Galvis is a homer away from the cycle. 3 RBIs, 11 on the year.
Looks like he got a curveball or something slow there. Maybe a slider from Roush. And he got out front a little bit. Watch him get out front, but he still can keep it fair. There he goes. He hooked it enough fair territory that he gets that extra base hit all the way into the corner.
First major league triple for Freddie Galvis. So he has just about everything out of the way or ahead of the first pitch from Roush. Pete Orr pops one right here. It's a brand new ball game for the Phillies. Pete has 10 hits on the year. Swing and a miss. Johnson will have to make the throw, and he does. Roush allowed a run here in the 8th inning on 2 hits. Galvis's RBI is 3rd of the night. He's left over at 3rd. On to the 9th we go. Let's look back to a part of Cliff Lee's start that was pretty cool. It's our Home Depot defensive play of the game. He could have easily got the out at first, but he decided to gamble, and he went to second, and he was able to get that out at second base. Cliff Lee tonight, 6 innings in his return from the disabled list was outstanding. He left the mound. The game was tied at 2. He left the game. He had a 2-run lead, but it's unraveled since then. Home Depot doing more on defense. Ryan Sanchez will pitch the ninth. 0-1, a 12 earned run average for Sanchez. This is only his 3rd ball game. And he'll face the top of the order for New York. It's Andres Torres, Daniel Murphy, and David Wright, with Frank Francisco warming in the pen for New York. Torres tripled back in the 6th and scored 1 of the 9 runs for New York. It's kind of an innocent swing back at that point. The ball got away from Shane. That tied the game at 2. This is going to make it 10-5. Long home run for Torres. It's his first in the Mets uniform. It's been a long time since the Phillies fans have watched this kind of stuff unfold. The ball was just hung up in the zone. It was a splitter, and Torres deposited it into the seats. So 10-5 New York, and Daniel Murphy, who is 1 for 4, will be the batter. And he'll get aboard with a base hit. That'll be the 12th hit of the night for the Mets. Think about the last 3 innings, and it's 8 runs on 7 hits in these last 3 innings.
These guys are yocking it up. They're having a good time, and you can't blame them because they are hitting a lot of balls hard.
Well, way back in the 1st and 2nd, Cliff Lee pitched a 1-2-3 inning. He added another one in the 5th. Every time the Phillies do that, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. David Wright takes strike 1. Wright is 2 for 4. He had an RBI back in the 6th. Doubled to start the rally in the 8th. Terry Collins has sat Francisco down. I guess that extra run means that the grand slam is off the books. So DJ Carrasco's throwing now in the pen for New York. The ball's hooked to left. Pierre goes back. He's there to make the catch.
David Wright probably got a 2-run home run early in the game, but that thing got knocked down. Had top spin, combination of top spin and the wind blowing in.
So Wright's done. Scott Hairston, who has a couple hits tonight. Off day tomorrow, and then the Padres come in for 3. Homestead wraps up with 2 on Monday, 2 against the Astros Monday and Tuesday. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Quick trip out to Chicago, take on the Cubs. Phillies back home after that. 1-2 the count. Well, the good news is that guy is healthy and pitched really well. Sitting there talking to Joe Blanton, who did his job last night. And and 2 outs. Scott, you see what Scott Harrison just did? He just looked at Brian Sanchez and just started nodding with his bottom lip out. Like, all right, that was a good pitch.
It was. Looked like it was a slider.
Watch this. Watch. Ready? Ready? All right.
Yeah, he beat me. Sometimes I beat him. Sometimes he beats me. He beat me that time.
Neuenhuis is 0 for 1. He walked his first time up as a pinch hitter for Rottino. Line drive caught by Polanco. A run scores on the home run by Andres Torres. 2 hits overall. The Mets leave 1. It's on to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Phillies down by 5. Have one more chance. Down by 5. It's amazing how this game has changed over the last 3 innings. At one point, going into the top of the 7th inning, the Phillies were up 4-2. Cliff Lee had gone 6 innings. He had allowed just 2 earned runs. Phillies needed to get 9 outs from their bullpen. And, you know, that's normally not a big deal. But lately, it has been a big deal. And it was a really big deal tonight. Mets scored 3 in the 7th, 4 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th, and now DJ Carrasco, who's pitching for the first time this year after pitching 42 games last year, is on to pitch at the bottom of the 9th. Rollins, Pierre, Victorino. First pitch is up, 1-0. Well, the Braves have lost to the Cubs. The Nationals are trailing Pittsburgh 4-2. Miami's up 3-2.
Mets are going to think they're going to be in first place the way it's going.
They'll be a half game out.
I was going to say they're close. They deserve to be up the way they're playing right now. They're playing good baseball.
Well, but with all that said, if for some reason Pittsburgh hangs on, the Phillies will have lost 5 of 6 if they lose tonight, but would still be just 5 back in a division where it seems like they're starting to beat each other up a little bit. To the right side, Murphy sliding play, and he throws high. Well, that'll be the 3rd time.
He can make the first part of that play pretty well, but he can't make the second part.
See how they score that?
Give him a hit on that.
I would think so. Yeah, they do score a hit.
See, he's done this a lot in this series. He makes this part of it really good. Nice job. But then he gets up and he has no idea where the bag is. That time was just a little wide as opposed to look out in the camera deck.
Pierre takes a strike. It's 0-1. Juan tonight has been on base twice. He has 2 hits and 4 at-bats. He'll be followed by Victorino, then Hunter Pence. Swing and a miss. The ball gets away. Rollins will get to second, but it is an out. First base was occupied, so Pierre cannot advance. It'll be a wild pitch that allows Rollins to go to second. And now Victorino will hit. Victorino's 0 for 4. Ten runs for the Mets tonight, a season high. 10 runs on 12 hits. The Phillies 5 runs on 14 hits. They've hit the ball tonight. Three and 1 the count to Victorino. On the hands, the shortstop Turner makes the play for out number 2. So the Phillies are down to just 1 out. Reminder after the ball game, it's Phillies post-game live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. It's coming up right after the game. A recap of this one. Probably a look ahead to this weekend series against the Padres, which will feature Vance Worley on Friday night. Again, it's Phillies post-game live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Coming up right after the game. Here's Pence. And Hunter Pence hits one to right center field. That's pretty well hit. That ball's going to carry, and it's going to carry off the scoreboard. It rolls along the warning track. Rollins will trot home. Pence hustling gets to third, and it's 10-6. The Phils down by 4. First triple of the year for Pence.
Another example of the way that wind is really picked up, and the ball is flying to right and right center right now. Hunter hit that pretty well. That almost went out of the ballpark.
They've got Frank Francisco back up in the Mets bullpen.
Yeah, if he pitches this into a save situation, they may go to it. One more base runner. Give him an easy save opportunity. Have to have the tying run at home plate, either at home plate or in the on-deck circle, and they're 1 away from that.
One ball, 1 strike to Polanco. Ground ball to shortstop. Big hop for Justin Turner. This should do it. And the New York Mets have swept out the Phillies as they came from behind yet again for the 3rd time in this series to win it by a final score of 10-6. The Phillies have now lost 5 of 6. And the battle of the bullpens really in the series was won by the New York Mets. First 3-game sweep in Philadelphia since June 13th. that series in 2006. Our Chevy players of the game, Andres Torres and Ike Davis, they combined to go 4 for 8 with a couple home runs, 5 runs batted in, and 4 runs scored. So the optimism that surrounded this homestand when it began has faded somewhat. The Phillies try to make up some ground in the standings, thought this homestand would help them do that, but they lost the first 3, including the finale, to the New York Mets by a final of 10-6. And boy, Ike Davis really delivered one of the longer home runs we've seen this year.
And he's been struggling mightily. Got that pitch down and in, left-handed hitter, happy zone. Wind started to blow out to right center later in the ballgame. Would have been a home run anyway. Turned into a big-time long home run for Ike Davis, who also had a double. The Mets hope he's starting to come out of it. That's our WB Mason delivery of the game.
All right, so the Mets win at 10-6. They've swept out the Phillies. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up tonight's ball game.